Chapter 81. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The square went completely silent. The sight of Shimura Danzo, Shuan Koharu, and Mito Menion's heads left everyone speechless, their horrified expressions betraying the turmoil within. Could this be true? Were these really the leaders of Konoha? The same leaders who could usually shake Konoha with a stomp of their feet? This is huge. Konoha's about to change forever. What do we do? Are we going to suppress the Uchiha? Sarutobi, the third Hokage, is still alive, right? Why haven't the Uchiha ever been this ruthless before? Seeing the scene, clan leaders like Hayashi Hyuga, Choza Akimichi, Shikaka Nara, Inoichi Yamanaka, and Shibi Aburame took a deep breath, suppressed their inner turmoil, and began to consider their family's next move. They weren't fools. With Danzo, Koharu, and Menyen dead, the third Hokage and the Uchiha were now locked in a battle to the death. Only by backing the winner could they secure their future, so choosing between supporting the third Hokage or the Uchiha was a decision of utmost importance. Wait, why aren't any Sarutobi clan ninjas here? Shikaka Nara frowned, scanning the crowd. He was surprised to see that no one from the Sarutobi clan was present, an undeniably strange absence. After all, the Sarutobi clan was a major power in Konoha. Last night, Konoha's leaders were preparing to destroy the Uchiha clan, forcing us to kill Danzo and eliminate most of Root's elite forces, Fugaku Uchiha stated coldly, his eyes flashing. For revenge, we also eliminated all the Sarutobi ninjas and went to the Hokage's office to kill Koharu and Menyen. Gulp. Whoa. A wave of gasps and nervous swallowing filled the square. Beyond the shock, many ninjas suddenly understood, so that's the reason for the Uchiha's rebellious behavior. Konoha's leaders tried to wipe them out, so they fought back. It was kind of a backfire, wasn't it? After all, the village leaders initiated the attack. Getting wiped out in response. It didn't look good for them. Might Guy, Kakashi, Genma Shiranui, and other ninjas shook their heads subtly, careful not to reveal too much as Konoha ninjas, sensing the shifting emotions. Third Hokage Sarutobi felt a sharp pain in his heart. He glared at the Uchiha, saying in a low voice, "Where leaves dance, fire burns. You'll never understand the will of fire. Without the efforts of myself, Danzo, Koharu, and Menyen, Konoha wouldn't be the top ninja village." Clenching his fists, Sarutobi glanced at Hayashi Hyuga and the other clan leaders, ordering coldly, "What are you waiting for? Attack Uchiha Ionyen and destroy the Uchiha clan." Sarutobi didn't even look at Kakashi, Might Guy, or the others. He knew that with Root's elite wiped out and most of the Umbu stunned, the remaining power in Konoha rested in the hands of these clans. If they joined the fight, the outcome was still uncertain. Hayashi Hyuga, Choza Akimichi, Shikaka Nara, and Inoichi Yamanaka all wanted to curse. Why did their feud have to involve them? Anyone could see that Konoha's leaders were losing ground. Stepping up now was just asking for death. As for the will of fire, did it even matter? You. Seeing their reluctance, Sarutobi's expression darkened. He could only glance at Shikaka Nara, signaling him to say something. "Lord Third, I believe you can defeat Uchiha Ionyen." Shikaka Nara's expression was strained as he offered a feeble encouragement. "That's right, Lord Third, have faith in yourself. We believe in you. If you win, we'll destroy the Uchiha clan with you." Following his lead, Hayashi Hyuga, Choza Akimichi, Inoichi Yamanaka, and the other clan leaders echoed their support. You. Cough. Faced with their thinly veiled rejection, Third Hokage Sarutobi's face turned even uglier. Finally, in a fit of anger, he coughed up blood. He hadn't expected these clan leaders to betray him at such a critical moment, clearly doubting his chances of success. Heh. Uchiha Ionyen shook his head, unimpressed. Each of these clan leaders was a seasoned player. With Konoha's leadership clearly failing, they wouldn't risk everything by aligning with them now, but Uchiha Ionyen wasn't afraid of their choices. He had a backup plan. Meanwhile, what happened to Grandpa Third? Who is the third Hokage fighting? A group of 5- and 6-year-old children, guided by a few Uchiha ninjas, appeared. A closer look revealed Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, Neji Hyuga, Hinata Hyuga, Shikamaru Nara, and other future powerhouses of Konoha Village among them. Damn, that's Hayashi's daughter, and Neji Hyuga too. What are the Uchiha planning, sneaking these kids in while we were distracted? Good thing I didn't take sides, or else. The appearance of these children caused Hayashi Hyuga, Choza Akimichi, Shikaku Nara, and Inoichi Yamanaka to freeze, a chill running down their spines. What could they say? Uchiha was too cunning, or rather, Uchiha Leonien was too calculating. They had thought of Leonien as a physically strong elite jonin, but now it appeared he was a ruthless operator. Alright, weakest Hokage in history, let's get started. As Naruto, Sasuke, and the other children appeared, Uchiha Leonien's eyes turned cold. He clapped his hands. Shadow Clone Jutsu. For corner ceiling barrier, 0.3 shadow clones appeared, positioning themselves in the south, east, and west of the square. A green, transparent pyramid barrier formed around him and Sarutobi, trapping the third inside. Now, in front of everyone, he would completely destroy the weakest Hokage in history. Chapter 82. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You pulled off 2 ninjutsu with just a hand clap, even though Uchiha hadn't used ninjutsu in ages, the moment he did, he floored everyone. Even Hiruzen Sarutobi, the professor, his eyes went wide in disbelief. You, and then, seeing kids like Naruto Uzumaki, Hinata Hyuga, and Shikamaru Nara, Sarutobi finally understood Uchiha's game. Was this a public execution to destroy the will of fire in this generation and the next? After all, to pass on that precious will of fire, he'd schlep to the ninja academy multiple times a week, put on his most heartwarming, ashuk smile, and lecture about the will of fire to achieve maximum brainwashing. He'd put the most effort into Naruto, he even considered having Shursui Uchiha use the Kotoeme Tsukumi on him, but Uchiha refused, saying the cooldown was too long. So he let Naruto grow up an orphan, figuring that a little warmth at the right moment would double the brainwashing effect with half the effort, and now, all that scheming went down the drain. Taking a deep breath, Uchiha said coldly, time to end this. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. The third Hokage, Sarutobi, laughed like a maniac, his eyes filled with hatred and rage. After becoming Hokage, he plotted and manipulated countless people, never imagining he'd be taken down by Uchiha fury. He was consumed by it. Swish, swish. With the sound of shuriken slicing through the air, Sarutobi, fueled by a surge of chakra, began weaving hand signs like a madman. Ninja art, shuriken shadow clone technique. Suddenly, the shuriken multiplied, doubling, quadrupling, becoming a dense swarm in the blink of an eye. I'll crush you where you're most proud. Seeing this, Uchiha's eyes flashed. Using his observation haki, he flung kunai, releasing his suppressed immortal chakra, and clapped his hands. Ninja art, shuriken shadow clone technique. Ninja art, shuriken giant body technique. Swish, swish. Another storm of black shuriken flew forward. What? Despite being rocked by Uchiha's chakra surge, Sarutobi gritted his teeth, began weaving hand signs again, and repeated his attack. Ninja art, shuriken giant body technique. Too bad he realized Uchiha had already beaten him to the punch. Bang, star, the massively enlarged shuriken collided with a deafening roar. Impossible. Sarutobi's face twisted in horror, his hands becoming a blur as he weaved more signs. Fire style, fire dragon flame bullet. Lightning style, thunder. Water style, water dragon bullet. Earth style, earth dragon bullet. Wind style, cyclone. Sarutobi unleashed over a dozen different elemental ninjutsu in rapid succession, stunning everyone watching, even Naruto. It was a display worthy of the professor. But Uchiha one-upped him, clapping his hands and unleashing chakra without holding back. Fire style, fire dragon flame bullet. Lightning style, thunder. Water style, water dragon bullet. Earth style, earth dragon bullet. Wind style. Same ninjutsu, different execution. Even a kid could see Uchiha was on another level. His chakra was stronger, his power more explosive, and he didn't even need hand signs. The audience was blown away, their minds screaming awesome. Inside the barrier, a storm of elemental ninjutsu collided, creating a continuous barrage of explosions and shockwaves that made the ground tremble. If it weren't for the barrier, the area would have been leveled. As it was, everyone was completely numb. Who? Inside the barrier, Sarutobi was gasping for air, his eyes fixed on Uchiha like he was staring at a monster. Uchiha seemed to anticipate every ninjutsu he tried, and to add insult to injury, his chakra reserves were far superior, and his stamina was off the charts. The comparison made Sarutobi look pathetic. Keep going, you're the weakest Hokage ever. Uchiha taunted. After signing in for 10 years, he'd mastered countless ninjutsu. Facing off against Sarutobi, he realized how truly powerful he'd become. Too bad the old ape was already running out of steam after only a dozen ninjutsu. This wasn't like a high-level pirate battle that could last for days. I'm not done yet. Sarutobi's eyes narrowed. He took a deep breath and began weaving signs again. 5 elements great combination technique. Too bad. Uchiha clapped his hands again. P.S. Please leave tips, collect, rate and review, for a fresh start. Thank you. Chapter 83. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 5 escapes and giant bullet technique. The scene was the same, the ninjutsu was the same. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Sarutobi Hizap and Uchiha Leonin each created 4 shadow clones. Then, each set of clones unleashed 5 different elemental ninjutsu, fire, lightning, water, earth, and wind, in a coordinated, simultaneous attack. Boom, boom, boom. The earth shook with the roar of colliding forces. The 5 elemental ninjutsu clashed, unleashing another devastating shockwave that further ravaged the already scarred battlefield. Bang! Under the onslaught, Sarutobi's defenses faltered. He stumbled backward, his face paling with each step, but Uchiha Leonin didn't budge, standing his ground. His entire body was now covered in hardened, armed haki. Impossible! How are you pulling off 5 elemental attacks at once? Sarutobi was visibly shaken, struggling to comprehend what he was seeing. You've always focused on taijutsu. How do you know so many ninjutsu, including the 5 escapes technique and even the 5 escapes rapid-fire barrage? Sarutobi, who prided himself as the professor of ninjutsu, had always been confident in his mastery, especially complex ninjutsu, but now. Against Uchiha Leonin, his confidence crumbled. Leonin forms seals instantly. He doesn't need seals at all. Sarutobi knows a lot of ninjutsu, Leonin knows even more, and his are stronger. Even his own original complex ninjutsu. Leonin knows them too. It was a crushing blow. Sarutobi felt a wave of helplessness wash over him. I refuse to believe it. Summoning jutsu, refusing to accept defeat, Sarutobi quickly formed the hand seals. He couldn't believe that Leonin could summon a Monkey King as well. Poof, a cloud of smoke appeared, the Monkey King Enma materialized in the barrier. Sarutobi, what's up? Enma stretched, frowning. Watch out, Sarutobi started to warn, seeing something coming. What? Bang! Before Enma could finish, Leonin blasted him with a single punch, sending him crashing into the green barrier, which shuddered violently. Ugh! Enma hit the ground hard, spitting out blood, his simian face contorted in pain. It hurt, it really hurt. Who had the strength to break his diamond-hard body with one punch? His insides felt like they were mush. Enma! Swish! Sarutobi rushed to Enma's side. Are you alright? Still in the fight? Enma wiped the blood from his mouth, his voice strained. Who are we up against? That punch was insane. It's like the 4th Hokage is here. It's a monster rivaling the 1st Hokage. Sarutobi's fists clenched, his expression pained. I might be finished. Are all the skeletons in your closet coming out? Enma's lips twitched. You're usually so careful. Nothing should. Enough. Sarutobi snapped, cutting him off. Nemas, what did he mean? What skeletons? Everything he'd done was for Konoha. Only a few things were for himself. Your defense isn't bad. Leonian stepped forward, his face expressionless. Just a little warm-up. Is that our opponent? Enma glanced at the Uchiha crest on Leonian's clothing, surprised. Sarutobi, you're getting beat up by an Uchiha? Yeah. Sarutobi nodded, pale. Leonian didn't waste any time. He gripped Song Yunche, coating the blade with a mix of armed haki and a faint, fluorescent aura. Song Yun cut shock. Swish. Leonian charged toward Sarutobi, swinging Song Yunche. This is bad. Sarutobi and Enma, who had been talking so casually, both sensed an extremely dangerous aura. In a split second, Enma transformed into the adamantine staff and appeared in Sarutobi's hands. Clang. Song Yunche slammed into the adamantine staff, unleashing a concussive force that shattered the air. Sarutobi, no. What kind of power is this? Enma, in staff form, screamed as the concussive force mixed with armed haki coursed through him. Bang, the next moment. With a deafening crash, the force of the blow sent Sarutobi flying, still clutching the adamantine staff, crashing into the ground dozens of feet away, coughing up blood. Crack. Then, Enma reverted to his original form, clutching his abdomen in agony. He could feel the force tearing through his diamond body. Enma. Sarutobi, who had been flung onto the ground, wiped blood from his mouth and cried out. I'm done for. Enma gasped. This. What kind of monster is he? Poof. With those words, Enma vanished in a puff of smoke. It's over. The moment Enma disappeared, Sarutobi's heart sank. He knew his ultimate trump card, the Reaper Death Seal, was useless. Leonian's taijutsu was too strong. He couldn't hold Leonian in place long enough to cast the seal, in other words, that he was truly finished. P.S. I need tips. Collections. Flowers and reviews, to sprout new life. Thank you. Chapter 84. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Crushed. Seriously. The third Hokage, totally destroyed. This Uchiha Ryu is just too strong. He's got no weaknesses. Everyone watched the one-sided beatdown inside the barrier, and a heavy silence fell. Even the heads of the clans, the Hyuga, Akimichi, Nara, Yamanaka, and Aburame, just shook their heads. No way. The third Hokage, Sarutobi, was getting wrecked. The guy who was supposed to be the strongest Hokage in history was getting completely dominated by Uchiha Ryu, especially that one move. Ryu's taijutsu took out the Monkey King summon. Sarutobi coughed up a lung, and that's when it hit them. That's what Ryu meant when he called Sarutobi the weakest Hokage ever. Too much, Might Guy muttered, his brow furrowed. The third is done for, Kakashi said, his expression conflicted. He wanted to jump in, but, between the barrier and Fugaku's Sharingan, there was no chance. Grandpa Hokage got crushed. But he's the Hokage. How can he be so weak? He got totally worked over. 5 and 6-year-olds like Sasuke, Naruto, Hinata, and Shikamaru stared at Sarutobi getting pummeled inside the barrier, their faces falling. It was like something they believed in just shattered, at the same time. Sarutobi, you really are weak, Ryu said, taking a deep breath. Any last words? Right, he'd taken out the Monkey King with one strike. Ryu knew Sarutobi couldn't use the Reaper Death Seal. A washed-up Sarutobi. Nothing to fear. I can't accept this. Sarutobi wiped blood from his mouth, struggling to his feet, his face twisted with frustration. He just couldn't understand it. How had things gone so wrong? This was supposed to be the day they celebrated the end of the Uchiha. Now, it was a celebration for the village elders. It was almost laughable, but still, Sarutobi straightened his tattered Hokage robes. You think you're worthy of Tsukumo Hatake? Of the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze? Of Hisashi Hyuga? Enough. Sarutobi's eyes flashed. He cut Ryu off. As Hokage, I'm not wrong. You don't understand the will of fire. You're the one who's disobedient and rebellious. He glared around the arena. I'll admit defeat. But I'll get back everything I've lost. One day. You're something else. Ha 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 ha. Sarutobi let out a wild laugh, a grin splitting his face. He flashed through hand signs. We're going down together. For symbols sealing jutsu, the air crackled, black ink poured from Sarutobi's body, each drop carrying a sealing tag, surging toward Ryu with impossible speed. Time reversal. Ryu's voice was icy, his eyes shifted to the Mangekyo Sharingan, a wave of terrifying power erupting from them. Schwing! Sarutobi stared in disbelief, the four symbol seal, already cast, started to rewind, pulling back to the moment before activation. You have the Mangekyo Sharingan. Despair, hopeless, he couldn't even kill himself with ninjutsu. Sarutobi looked at Ryu's Mangekyo Sharingan and lost it, the universe was against him. Stubborn. Asterisk swish, starred at a flash of cold steel, before he could react, his right arm flew through the air, blood spraying, and that was only the start, asterisk swish, swish, starred at a few more flashes, everyone watched as Ryu severed Sarutobi's left arm, right leg, and left leg. Finally, Sarutobi's head followed, even in death. Sarutobi's face was twisted in disbelief, he couldn't understand how the Uchiha could produce a monster like Ryu. How had he failed so completely? But what Sarutobi didn't know was, if the village elders hadn't wanted to wipe out the Uchiha, none of this would have happened. Their sin was the root of it all. Dead. The third Hokage. Sarutobi's dead. Damn. I feel like my childhood is over. Everyone stared in stunned silence, the heads of the clans, the Hyuga, Akimichi, Nara, Yamanaka, and Aburame, even Fugaku, felt a deep sense of loss. For them, the third Hokage had been a constant, someone they'd grown up with, a part of their youth, now they'd seen the old order crumble. They'd watched Ryu kill Sarutobi. It was the end of an era. Dead, Might Guy shook his head. He knew that with the death of the third Hokage, Konoha was about to change, and the ninja world would never be the same. Next up, Hell Mode for the Hidden Leaf Village. My father didn't commit suicide. What does the third Hokage have to do with my father's death? Kakashi was numb. If the third Hokage really was involved in his father's death, what was he supposed to do? Chapter 85. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is this supposed to be a god? Grandpa Hiruzen was killed. He's kind of a pushover, isn't he? Could there actually be a conspiracy behind my father's death? And kids like Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki, Hinata Hyuga, Niji Hyuga, and Shikamaru Nara were all reeling. Sarutobi was always going on about Konoha's big secret, the will of fire. He was supposed to be a ninjutsu master, the strongest Hokage ever, and the hero who put Konoha on the map as the top ninja village, but this is it. Strongest Hokage ever. He got beat down like nothing. He just let himself get stomped by some Uchiha dude. Meanwhile, after taking out Hiruzen, the three shadow clones of Leonian Uchiha, who had used the four red yang formation, vanished into smoke, automatically undoing the barrier. Gotta give it to you, you had some fight in you as the third Hokage. Leonian glanced at the dismembered Hiruzen, sheathed his Kusanagi blade, stretched, and headed towards Fugaku Uchiha, who looked stunned outside the barrier. He casually ordered, someone clean up the mess. Yeah. Fugaku snapped out of it and nodded quickly. Get the clan heads to handle the fallout and wake up the stunned Umbu. Things are about to get wild in the ninja world. Leonian's eyes scanned the clan heads, including Hinata, and he spoke calmly. Yes. Yes. The clan heads, from the Hyuga, Akimichi, Nara, Yamanaka, and Aburame clans, lowered their heads, practically bowing to Leonian's will, because, let's be real, the will of fire is just talk. Whoever has the biggest stick makes the rules. Leonian was the strongest, and he just took out the entire Konoha council. To the victor go the spoils. From now on, Konoha belonged to the Uchiha. Honestly though, they weren't exactly mourning the deaths of the Konoha elders. For years, the Konoha Council, led by the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, had been keeping the clans down. First the Senju, then the Uchiha. If the Uchiha got wiped out, the other clans would be next, tails between their legs. The Uchiha's rebellion was a win for everyone. It was Konoha year 55, and the village, once the greatest in the ninja world, was in the middle of the worst civil war in its history. The Konoha Council wanted to exterminate the Uchiha clan, but they didn't know Leonin Uchiha, that elite taijutsu ninja, was a total badass. Not only did he wipe out most of the elite ninja and the root organization, but he also took out the Sarutobi clan. And finally, he took out Koharu Utatane, Hamura Mitokado, and the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. With the Konoha Council gone, Konoha had effectively been overthrown. A new era had begun. Boom. The news broke, and the entire ninja world went nuts. The other major ninja villages and countless ninja everywhere were shocked. They didn't believe it at first, and then they were scared out of their minds. Konoha was the top ninja village, and Hiruzen Sarutobi was supposed to be the strongest Hokage ever, and now he was dead, killed by some nobody who'd never even been on a battlefield. Leonin Uchiha had no rep. It was supposed to be a clan extermination that went the other way. It was chilling. The death of the Konoha Council, led by the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, had weakened Konoha by a good 75%. Other villages started to think Konoha was vulnerable after the Civil War, and the ninja world started scheming. Cloud Village, one of the 5 great shinobi countries, it was in the land of lightning, a martial nation. It was the most intact of the armed ninja villages after World War III. There was no doubt Cloud Village was strong. A few years back, Hiruzen Sarutobi was in his prime during the Cloud Ninja affair, but he just turtled up. Cloud Village was getting close to Konoha. Most ninja figured it was only a matter of time before Cloud Village beat Konoha in a war and took over as the top village, near the central mountains of Cloud Village. Boom. The ground shook. 2 muscular guys covered in lightning chakra were going at it, throwing off some serious energy waves. Yes, after a punch, the 4th Hokage, laughed. Kurabi, let's go again. Idiot. I'm not fighting anymore. Whoosh star. Kurabi jumped back a few dozen feet, rubbing his fist. Ha ha ha. A laughed, then stopped using his lightning chakra mode. Lord Hokage, Dade's assistant, Mabui, ran up, looking panicked. Something huge happened. What? A frown. Did something big happen in the ninja world? Yeah, in Konoha. Mabui looked freaked out, like she couldn't believe it. What is it? Dade perked up. Mabui blurted out, the Konoha Council, including the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, got taken out by Leonin Uchiha. Konoha's changed hands. It's the Uchiha's village now. What? When did the Uchiha get so tough? How's that even possible? Dade and Kurabi stared at each other, shocked. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the supposed strongest Hokage ever, was dead. Killed by the Uchiha. Unbelievable. Mabui took a deep breath and said, the ninja world's going crazy, and the land of fire is shaking. Big chance, huge chance. I thought for a minute, then said, Mabui, get the Cloud Village High Council together. We've got an opportunity, and we need to move fast. Hokage, you mean? Mabui looked shocked, and even B was paying attention now. You bet. Dade grinned. Sarutobi being gone is good timing. It's time for a change at the top. Understood. Stone Village, the third Tsuchikage's office, Inoki, the Inoki of both scales, was in his chair, staring at the intelligence report like he couldn't believe it. The report said the Konoha Council, including the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, had been wiped out. Crazy, right? Looking at the silent Tsuchikage, Kuratsuchi, Akatsuchi, and the other Stone Village Council members looked stunned. They couldn't even breathe. Gather the IWA shinobi. Inoki's eyes narrowed. As one of the 5 great villages, we'll seek justice for Konoha. Inoki had made up his mind. Even if he was still scared of the Uchiha, there was only one Madara. Yes sir. The Stone Village Council knew what he was planning. Seeking justice was just an excuse, they were going to attack Konoha, now was the time to strike when Konoha was weak. Sand Village, the 4th Kazekage's office. Ha ha ha, Raza laughed like a maniac. Hiruzen, Danzo, Hamura, Koharu, you old dogs finally got what's coming to you. Awesome. So satisfying. Sand Village had been beaten by Konoha in every war, and Raza hated Konoha, especially the council led by Hiruzen. But Konoha was too strong, so he could never do anything about it, but now that the council was dead, he was thrilled. Finally, we can get a piece of Konoha. Raza muttered. Strike while the iron is hot. I'm going to take Konoha down. Mist Village, because of the Blood Mist policy, Mist Village had been closed off, but, after World War III, Mist Ninja Mei Terumi realized the 4th Mizukage might have been manipulated by Genjutsu. Ao used his Byakugan to break the Genjutsu, ending the Blood Mist policy. To keep things quiet, Mist Village had kept it a secret, and the 4th Mizukage had resigned. The Elder Yuan had been running the village ever since, in the Elder's office. Elder Yuan, this is a golden opportunity. Right. With the Blood Mist policy and the Kagaya clan rebellion, Mist Village is in ruins. If we take a chunk out of Konoha, we can recover faster. Hiruzen's dead, so Konoha's the weakest village. The Mist Village Council was excited, like they'd already taken Konoha. What do you think? Yuan, holding his snake-headed staff, didn't change his expression. Mei blinked, pursing her lips. She didn't want to attack Konoha, but Mist Village was in bad shape. Maybe war was the only way to catch up with the other villages. I see. Yuan seemed to know what Mei was thinking. His eyes narrowed. I'll lead the team this time. It's time for Mist Village to show our strength. Okay. Mei nodded silently. A day later, Cloud Village, Stone Village, Sand Village, and Mist Village were all on the same page. They issued harsh condemnations of the Uchiha Clan, claiming they were violating the peace treaty from World War III and threatening peace in the ninja world, claiming to seek justice for Hiruzen. Cloud Village, Stone Village, Sand Village, and Mist Village announced they would send troops to Konoha. They wanted the Uchiha to answer for their crimes. Boom. The ninja world exploded. P.S. Please tip, collect, leave flowers and reviews. Thanks. Chapter 86. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Planes incoming. The second the news broke, the entire ninja world went ballistic. Just when everyone was reeling from the civil unrest in Konoha, the other 4 major ninja villages, Sand, Mist, Cloud, and Stone, were already gearing up for action, righteously condemning the Uchiha clan. Total shock. Absolutely unbelievable. If all 4 villages weren't attacking Konoha at the same time, you'd think the 4th Great Ninja War was starting. Even then, it sent shivers down the spines of ninjas everywhere. Most ninjas knew this meant Konoha, always the top village, was about to fall hard. With the Third Hokage's leadership wiped out, Konoha's strength had been decimated. On top of that, having all 4 major villages team up meant even the mighty Uchiha clan would have a hard time surviving the onslaught. The ninja world was in chaos. People everywhere were mourning Konoha's fate, pitying the Uchiha, and lamenting how the clan had overplayed their hand. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. You take out Konoha's leadership, and what do? Serve up the perfect opportunity for the other hungry villages. Fire Country Border, a bustling casino. Hit me. A blonde woman with the kanji for gamble on her clothes stared down at the table, her voice cold. It was none other than Tsunade, one of the legendary Sannin. The obese gambler playing against Tsunade was sweating bullets, on the verge of tears. He couldn't understand how his luck had turned so bad. Deal, the dealer muttered. Tsunade and the gambler lifted their cups, revealing the dice. Winner. The big marks won again. Unbelievable. The casino exploded in chatter, all eyes on Tsunade with disbelief. As for the obese gambler, he keeled over, eyes rolled back in his head. Anyone else? Tsunade frowned, scanning the room. The other gamblers instinctively backed away. Nobody wanted to play. This legendary sucker had been on a winning streak all day. Who wanted to throw their money away? Everyone knows gambling is all about luck. How'd my luck get so good? Tsunade was confused. She wasn't even enjoying the wins. A nagging feeling told her something bad was happening. Tsunade-sama, Shizen burst into the casino, ignoring the chips and whispering urgently in Tsunade's ear. What? We're going back to Konoha now. Tsunade's face changed instantly. She stood up, ignoring her winnings, and stormed out. Oh man. Shizen glanced at the chips, but knowing the stakes, she followed Tsunade. The remaining gamblers stared at the pile of money, eyes gleaming. Rain Country, in the tallest tower in Amigakure, the Akatsuki members were reeling from the news about Konoha and the upcoming assault from the 4 villages, shocked. Definitely shocked. They never imagined the Uchiha had such a ruthless player in their ranks, eliminating the leadership of Konoha with no holds barred. That kind of killer instinct was just what the Akatsuki was looking for. Ape Phase really dead? Well, that changes things. Orochimaru, still in the Akatsuki at the time, was visibly shocked. He had joined the Akatsuki for Pain's Rinnegan, and to start his own sound ninja village with gifted children to prove himself. Now, Ape Fei was dead, he only has business left to do. Orochimaru eyed Itachi, who had recently joined. More specifically, he eyed Itachi's Sharingan. The Rinnegan was proving difficult to acquire. Maybe he could find a way to obtain a kaleidoscope Sharingan instead. Humph. Itachi seemed to sense Orochimaru's gaze, and coldly snorted. Since learning about the upheaval in Konoha, Itachi's will of fire had been extinguished, and the cells between the Thousand Hands pillar that Heiju transplanted to him. The ninja world's in chaos again, Pain said, his voice flat. Our tailed beast collection plan will be postponed until further notice. Postponed? Haiden grumbled. Doesn't matter. Kakuzu shrugged. Just means I can drag you along for more bounty missions. I'm not going with you. Haiden bristled. Every time he teamed up with Kakuzu, Kakuzu swiped most of the reward, leaving him feeling like a chump. Whatever. Kisame said grimly. I was going to collect the 3 tails with Itachi, but that'll have to wait. Heh. Sasori croaked, with the ninja world in disarray, the perfect time to strike is after the 4 villages and Konoha have beaten each other to a pulp. We'll recruit more members while we wait. I'll send you the list later, Pain said. Dismissed. Let's watch the show as the 4 villages attack Konoha. Mount Mayaboku, home to the toads and their mastery of sage art, in the temple deep within the mountain, an old toad with orange eyes, beads around his neck, and a doctor's hat was dozing off, the legendary great toad sage. What? Airplanes. The great toad sage jolted awake, startled by something he saw in his dream. Shock flashed across his face. The future had changed, completely changed. The so-called Children of Destiny seemed to no longer exist. The ninja world's future was a blur. He could no longer see it clearly. Great Toad Sage. He says he has something important to tell you. Fukasaku and Shima rushed into the temple, looking panicked. I expected this. Let him in, the Great Toad Sage sighed. Yes. A few minutes later, Jiraiya, one of the Sannin, walked in like a zombie. Great Toad Sage, the old man was dismembered and killed. Jiraiya trembled and collapsed to his knees, his face contorted with pain. He couldn't understand how this was happening. He had left Konoha to bring back Orochimaru, and now. Now the old man was dead. Then, hearing that the Uchiha clan had printed and distributed throughout Konoha village a 3 generations Hokage Sarutobi's 10 deadly sins as propaganda, making the Hokage the most hated man in Konoha, Jiraiya secretly returned to Konoha village for a look. Of course, despite all the things that has been done to the ape flying son, that I'm not satisfied. After all, Ape Fei Ri is his teacher, a teacher for one day and a father for life, and he still feels angry and aggrieved from the heart for teacher Ape Fei being dismembered and killed. I know. The Great Toad Sage's voice was heavy. The future of the ninja world, of Konoha, has changed completely. I don't know where they're headed. I can't accept this. Jiraiya gritted his teeth. Sarutobi-sensei, as the third Hokage, did more good than bad. The Uchiha are going too far. The great toad sage was silent, then spoke slowly, the Uchiha. I've never seen him in my dreams. He's an anomaly. Anomaly? Jiraiya was puzzled. Indeed, the great toad sage sighed. His past and future seem like chaos. Maybe I'm not strong enough to see them clearly. I see. Jiraiya fell silent. Speak, the great toad sage said. What do you want to do? The 4 major villages are about to attack Konoha. I want to resurrect Sarutobi-sensei. Jiraiya said solemnly. Impossible, the great toad sage frowned, rejecting the idea outright. I want to borrow the Toad Country's treasure, the Immortal Talisman. Jiraiya said, surprising everyone. Even more impossible. The great toad sage's tone was heavy. The Immortal Talisman is filled with immortal chakra that can heal someone on the brink of death, but it can only be used once. Besides, Sarutobi is already dead. I believe you have a way. Jiraiya said firmly. With the ninja world in turmoil and Konoha in danger, I hope you'll step in. The Immortal Talisman is out of the question. The great toad sage sighed. But, for the sake of Konoha, for the sake of the ninja world, I can reluctantly perform the forbidden technique, impure world reincarnation. Really? Jiraiya's eyes lit up. Impure world reincarnation is fine, but it's a forbidden technique from the Scroll of Seals. Jiraiya, what are you saying? The great toad sage has lived since the era of the 6 Paths sage. Impure world reincarnation is nothing to him, Fukasaku and Shima said, scolding Jiraiya. Jiraiya was embarrassed. Well, if we're going to use impure world reincarnation, it would be best to bring back the 1st and 2nd Hokage. That way, we can completely suppress the Uchiha. Enough. Zilai, don't push it. Fukasaku and Shima were furious. Was Jiraiya using the great toad sage as a tool? I can. But the great toad sage seemed to have considered something. He didn't blame Jiraiya, and agreed, only magic can deal with magic, perhaps only the Thousand Hands Pillar can suppress the Uchiha clan, that is, the Uchiha flowing year. As for impure world reincarnation, it was forbidden to others, but just a small ninjutsu for the great toad sage. The only problem was that he had promised the 6 Paths sage not to interfere with the ninja world's development. It seemed he would be breaking that rule. Let's do it this one time, the great toad sage made his decision silently. Chapter 87. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Nobody in the ninja world saw it coming. The great toad sage was about to make a move. Not even Uchiha Ryunin, or Black Zetsu, given the relationship between the 3 great sage grounds and the Hidden Leaf Village, the great toad sage actually had a good reason to intervene. After all, as the sage of the 6 Paths right-hand man, even if the great toad sage messed with the natural order of things, the sage of 6 Paths would probably just turn a blind eye. Meanwhile, back in the Hidden Leaf Village, after the group took down the Leaf's leadership, headed by the 3rd Hokage. And Danzo Shimura, the Uchiha, Hyuga, Nara, Akimichi, and other clans had banded together to keep the village secure. Most of the Umbu and the remaining root ninjas had already turned against Hiruzen Sarutobi and Danzo. Eventually, under Ryunin's direction, a new Umbu was formed, and the Konoha garrison was restructured to include members from various clans and civilian ninja families. To bury the legacy of the 3rd Hokage for good, the major Konoha clans jointly published a pamphlet called The 10 Deadly Sins of Hiruzen Sarutobi, and they also rolled out a series of new policies. This had, for the moment, stabilized the Leaf Village, which had been teetering on the brink of collapse, but everyone knew it was just a temporary fix. The Hidden Mist, Hidden Sand, Hidden Cloud, and Hidden Stone villages were already making their moves, trying to kick the leaf when it was down. If the leaf couldn't hold its own, the worst-case scenario was that it would be carved up by the 4 major villages and vanish from the ninja world entirely. With things in such a state, the Leaf Village was practically a ghost town. Merchants, bounty hunters, nobles, and most commoners doing business there were packing up and leaving overnight, afraid of getting caught in the crossfire. The major Konoha clans weren't stopping them. Ryunin put it best, this was a chance to get rid of the dead weight. There were no innocent bystanders in a disaster like this. Many of the civilians in the Leaf didn't deserve any pity, and if they wanted to leave, good riddance. Kakashi, what do you think? Looking at the empty streets, Might Guy, who'd just come from Ichiraka Ramen, clasped his hands to his chest, uncharacteristically serious. The Leaf Village is facing an unprecedented crisis. It looks like the 4 major villages are teaming up to attack us. We fight. Hearing this, Kakashi, walking ahead, paused, frowned, and said firmly, I'll live and die with the Leaf Village. Ha! Just what I expected. Guy grinned, flashing a thumbs up. Youth grows in battle. This time, I'm going all out. Guy clenched his fist, the 4 ninja villages, huh? He was ready, he could take on at least 3 Kage-level opponents and come out on top. Meanwhile, in a top-level conference room within the Uchiha compound, the heads of the Uchiha, Ryunin, Fugaku, Hayashi Hyuga, Shikaku Nara, Choza Akimichi, Inoichi Yamanaka, and Shibi Aburame clans were gathered. Nobody spoke, making the atmosphere in the room even heavier and stranger. After what felt like an eternity, Shikaku finally spoke. The Hidden Mist is led by Yagura and apparently the retired Mizukage is backing him. The Hidden Sand is led by the 4th Kazekage, Raza. The Hidden Stone has the 3rd Tsuchikage, Anoki himself, and the Hidden Cloud is headed by the 4th Reikage, A, and the 8 Tails Jinchuriki, Killer B. This is insane, Choza said, looking grim. They're coming at us with everything they've got. And then some. Inoichi took a sip of tea, looking equally somber. The 4 major villages have it out for the Leaf, and this is going to be one hell of a fight. Those bastards, bang, Hayashi slammed his hand on the table, his teeth gritted. What else can they do but kick us when we're down? We definitely can't fight a 4-front war, Fugaku said gravely. We'll have to wait for them to come here. The other clan heads nodded in agreement. Even if the old leadership was still around, the Leaf couldn't handle fighting on 4 fronts. Now that they were gone. This is it. Shikaku said with a bitter smile. Yeah. Determination flashed in Choza's eyes. Even if we can't win, we'll make those villages pay in blood. Okay. Hearing their defeatist words, Ryunin slowly raised his head. I was the one who took down the Leaf's leadership, so I'm not surprised they're trying to take advantage of our weakness. This time, I'll show you what true power looks like. Ryunin shook his head with a smile, then turned and left the conference room. After the leadership was gone, Fugaku, Hayashi, and others had strongly recommended Ryunin to be the 5th Hokage, saying that only he could truly change the Leaf for the better. Ryunin had considered it, but he refused. With the 4 major villages attacking, becoming Hokage now would just make him a laughingstock. It was better to use brute force to crush the 4 villages first. He wanted to see just how terrifying he could be when his Whitebeard powers, Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Supreme Haki, Immortal Body, Breath of the Moon, and everything else were firing on all cylinders. The 4 ninja villages better be ready. PS tips, collection, flowers, and reviews are appreciated. Thank you. Chapter 88. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Konoha Village braced itself. War was coming. The Hidden Sand, Mist, Stone, and Cloud villages all mobilized. They saw their chance to finally take down Konoha, the Leaf Village, once the powerhouse of the ninja world. Their aim? Carve up its resources, plunder the Land of Fire, and the sooner the better. Konoha, as the victor in both the Second and Third Shinobi World Wars, had amassed a fortune, fueling a consistent stream of talented ninjas, but now, Konoha was vulnerable and in need of to step in. Under the watchful eyes of ninjas everywhere, the Hidden Sand, Mist, Stone, and Cloud forces brazenly marched into the Land of Fire. Konoha offered no resistance, so the armies of the 4 villages advanced rapidly. Halting just a few kilometers from Konoha, inside a tent at the Cloud Village's 24th unit base, deep within the Land of Fire, a critical meeting was underway. Raking I, the 3rd Reikage and Killer B, the 8 Tails Jinchuriki. Yagura, the Mizukage from the Mist Village, and the 3 Tails Jinchuriki. Inoki, the third Tsuchikage from the Stone Village, and Rashi, the Five-Tails Jinchuriki. Lastly, there was Rashi and Maki from the Hidden Sand Village. Anyone would be stunned by the sheer power gathered. The leaders of 4 great villages, joined by 3 Jinchuriki, formed a terrifying force capable of making any nation tremble. "This is almost too easy," Rashi said with a smirk, breaking the silence. "We're deep in the land of fire without a fight. Seems Konoha's scared stiff." Heh. Inoki glanced at I with a knowing smile. "Who'd have thought we'd actually team up to take down Konoha? What's that supposed to mean?" I growled, "Inoki, don't get cocky." "Relax," Inoki shrugged. "During the Third War, we threw tens of thousands of IWA shinobi at your father." A flicker of fear crossed Inoki's face as he added, "And then there was Uchiha Reunion, a rising star. We planned to overwhelm him with thousands of IWA ninja, too." A gasp rippled through the tent. Even I, on the verge of exploding, swallowed hard, gave Inoki a hard look, and said, "Inoki, you haven't changed." "Humph." Inoki scoffed. "If Uchiha Reunion could wipe out Konoha's leadership, he must be incredibly strong. I'm just worried that tens of thousands of IWA shinobi, plus what the 3 of you bring, still won't be enough. That's ridiculous. No matter how strong Reunion is, he can't beat 10,000. With Sarutobi gone and the rest of the high-ups dead, Konoha's strength is crippled. I doubt one Uchiha can turn the tide." Seeing Inoki's alarmist claims, Rashi, Killer Bee, Yagura, and others who'd been so confident now wore serious expressions. Seriously, their 4 villages had set aside their differences to form an alliance, but Inoki was still afraid. It was undermining everyone's morale. "You don't understand how dangerous the Uchiha clan can be," Inoki sighed, his voice heavy. "I saw Madara Uchiha's power firsthand. I fought alongside the second Tsuchikage, and Madara crushed us both. So, we need to be cautious. Reunion may not be Madara, but we should prepare just in case." Silence fell. The tent was heavy with tension. Everyone had been so sure of victory, but Inoki's words planted a seed of doubt. "Here's what we'll do. The moment the fighting starts, we all focus fire on Uchiha Reunion and take him down as quickly as possible." Yagura, who had been quiet until now, spoke up, his voice low and dark. "The Uchiha may be powerful, but, if all 4 villages target him at once, we're guaranteed to win." "Agreed." I nodded sharply. "I'm in." Rashi nodded decisively. "Our alliance is temporary, but it will do. We can get a ton of resources if we conquer Konoha Village. How we split it up can wait for later." No objections. No objections. No objections. In the end, despite their individual agendas, the leaders of the 4 villages forged a temporary alliance, agreeing to conquer Konoha first and sort things out later. How long this fragile alliance would last was anyone's guess. Soon after Inoki, Rashi, Yagura, and others departed, the 4th Hokage settled into his chair, said, "That old puppet Inoki is sly. Once we're dealing with Konoha, we'll strike at Inoki's IWA army and avenge my father." "I know." Killer Bee nodded, his face darkening at the mention of the 3rd Hokage. Chapter 89. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The combined forces of the 4 ninja villages sprang into action. With incredible speed, they bulldozed the countless towering trees at Konoha's entrance, clearing a battlefield several kilometers wide. As the 4 villages mobilized, the once clear sky clouded over, a storm brewing overhead, creating a sense of foreboding. After the battlefield was cleared, the armies of the sand, stone, mist, and cloud villages lined up in the open space. The sand, mist, and cloud forces each numbered around 2,000 ninja. But the stone ninja army in the center boasted tens of thousands, a dark, overwhelming mass that sent shivers down the spines of anyone who looked upon them. Perhaps motivated by the prospect of attacking Konoha together, the sand, mist, stone, and cloud ninja maintained a solemn front, their eyes burning with eagerness. "Look! The 4th Hokage and Killer Bee are here," that a cloud ninja shouted, drawing all eyes to the front of their formation. The fourth Hokage, A, clad in his Hokage robes, and Killer B, sporting dark sunglasses and carrying his 7 swords, emerged from behind with grim expressions. They exuded no overt power, yet the Cloud Ninja were filled with awe, their battle lust intensifying. The fourth Kazekage, Lord Raza, has arrived. The third Tsuchikage, Lord Inoki, is here. Elder Yuanshir too. Following the Hokage and B, Raza, Inoki, and Yuanshir stepped forward, commanding the sand, stone, and mist ninja to attention. The combined presence of these leaders ignited an uncontrollable surge of battle intent within the ranks of all 4 armies. However, Konoha remained silent and distant, showing no sign of preparing to meet the impending assault. 1 minute, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Time ticked by, finally, with the combined battle lust of the 4 armies reaching a fever pitch. Inoki, Yuanshir, and Raza exchanged a knowing glance and nodded. The message was clear: if Konoha refused to emerge, they would take the fight to them. Prepare. The 4 leaders raised their right hands in unison. This simple gesture caused countless ninja to grip their weapons tightly, but then, Konoha stirred. One by one, Konoha ninja emerged from the village at high speed. Here they come. Konoha's finally going to fight. The moment Konoha's forces appeared, Inoki, Genshir, and Raza smirked coldly, their auras exploding. They weren't afraid of losing, they were afraid of Konoha hiding away. Now, they could crush Konoha head-on, a truly exciting prospect. In an instant, fueled by the leader's outpouring of battle intent, the combined will of the 4 armies surged forward, threatening to overwhelm the Konoha ninja even before the first blow was struck. Whoa! Intense battle lust, huh? Are the 4 great villages juiced up on something? They look like they want to eat us alive. The Konoha ninja frowned at the wave of invisible pressure. They weren't exactly scared, but the sheer number of sand, stone, mist, and cloud ninja couldn't help but make their hearts pound. Even Fugaku Uchiha, Hayashi Hyuga, Shikaku Nara and the others felt a sense of unease. What's the worst thing in war? Getting your momentum crushed. It weakens you before the fighting even starts. You guys watch the show. I'll go play. With a burst of speed, Ryuen Uchiha, who had been standing quietly, shot forward, positioning himself in the center of the battlefield. He's Ryuen Uchiha. Focus fire. Seeing Ryuen's sudden appearance, the 4th Hokage frowned, remembering something. He barked out an order. Yeah, that's Ryuen Uchiha. Isn't he the one who killed those Konoha bigwigs led by the 3rd Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi? Doesn't look like such a badass. Yuanshir, Inoki, Raza, Killer B, and Kuratsuchi were equally wary. Finally, time to cut loose. Wonder how much damage the Tremor fruit does in a team battle. Ryuen Uchiha grinned, stretching theatrically, seemingly unconcerned. Boom! As he stretched, Ryuen's aura shifted dramatically. He radiated the power of a ninja king, a presence that demanded surrender from heaven and earth. The terrifying power of Conqueror's Haki exploded outwards from Ryuen, a raging wave aimed at crushing the ninja forces of the 4 villages. Chapter 90. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seriously? Is this imposing? How can he unleash such terrifying power all of a sudden? No way. The moment Uchiha Reunion's aura shifted, the top fighters from the 4 major ninja villages, Hokage, Inoki, Mizukage, and Gaara, were instantly stunned. No freaking way, did someone hit the fast-forward button. 1 second he's all sunshine and rainbows, the next he's commanding the planet to bow down. Whoosh! Just then, Uchiha Reunion's Conqueror's Haki slammed head-on into the combined battle intent of the ninja forces of the 4 great nations. Boom! With a deafening roar, Uchiha Reunion's Conqueror's Haki shattered their combined force and crashed into the sand, stone, mist, and cloud ninja armies. Just how strong was Uchiha Reunion's Conqueror's Haki at this point? Even he probably didn't know for sure, but, after absorbing Whitebeard's abilities and constantly pushing his own limits, he could confidently say he had surpassed even the most powerful Haki user in the pirate world, red-haired Shanks. The result? Almost instantly, the sand, stone, mist, and cloud ninja armies, even some of the elite jonin felt their hearts seize up, their heads buzzed, and the world went white, thud, star, the sound of a ninja collapsing was like a lit fuse, thud. Thud. Thud, star, suddenly, countless sand, stone, mist, and cloud ninjas seemed to lose all sense of balance and drop to the ground like flies, creating a chorus of sickening thuds. Witnessing the scene, the Reikage, Inoki, Mizukage, Gaara, Yagura, and Killer Bee, the elite of the 4 great villages, managed to resist the immediate effects of the conqueror's haki. But they were drenched in cold sweat, their faces twisted in disbelief. This can't be happening, that's not how this was supposed to go down, right? Seriously? The combined ninja forces of the 4 great villages were taken out before the fight even started? This is insane. And so, in the wake of the haki blast, the entire battlefield fell silent. Uchiha-sama. He's too much, isn't he? The ninja armies of the 4 great villages, and that's all it takes. Terrifying. Soon, the Konoha ninja army snapped out of their shock and erupted in a wave of shouts. Even Might Guy, Kakashi, Hayashi Hyuga, Fugaku Uchiha, Shikaku Nara, and the others were speechless. Sure, they knew Uchiha Reunion was strong, but, to shut down everything with sheer force of will. That was something else entirely. Did my 10,000 stone ninja just get trashed? On the battlefield, the 3rd Tsuchikage Inoki stared at his army of IWA shinobi sprawled on the ground, his face crumbling, his beard twitching. He was so angry he wanted to vomit blood. After all, these 10,000 IWA ninja were his trump card. He had done his research. Uchiha Reunion was a taijutsu specialist, so, he'd planned to use the same strategy he'd use against the 3rd Reikage, a human wave attack, to wear Uchiha Reunion down. The result? This Uchiha had apparently spent the last few years ditching any sense of fair play. Damn it, how did this guy get so strong? How can his presence be so overpowering? I should have known better than to bring so many ninjas. Looks like crowd tactics aren't going to work on Uchiha Reunion. Prepare for battle. After snapping back to reality, the Reikage, Mizukage, Gaara, Yagura, Killer Bee, and Kankuro exchanged uneasy glances. Uchiha Reunion was proving to be far more dangerous than they'd anticipated. Attacking with pure force of will, they'd been schooled. So, is this where the fun begins? As he said it, a vibrant white glow bloomed around Uchiha Reunion's fists. Whoosh. The moment this blinding light appeared, the air around the battlefield seemed to vibrate, like the prelude to an earthquake. Danger. Extreme danger. Faced with the mysterious power radiating from Uchiha Reunion's fists. Reikage, Inoki, Mizukage, Gaara, Yagura, Killer Bee, and Kankuro tensed up, their instincts screaming. He's going in. He's going to finish off the stunned ninjas. Whoosh, star. Inoki's expression turned grave, and he shot forward. Let's go. Hearing him, Reikage, Motoshi, Raksha, Yakura, Karabi, Khan and the others didn't hesitate. Their bodies thrumming with chakra, they launched themselves forward, trying to intercept Uchiha Reunion, but, just then, Uchiha Reunion unleashed his 2 fists, sending out 2 brilliant white halos, one aimed at the sky, the other at the ground. Airquake. Earthquake, crack. Crack, star. The next instant, the 2 white halos unleashed a devastating force that seemed capable of destroying the world. The air and the earth shattered like glass, cracks spreading outwards in all directions. The entire battlefield shuddered as if it were about to be torn apart. What is that power? It's shattering the very air and ground. The air and the ground are cracking. How can we stop this? Too late. Sensing the earth and air tremble, Reikage, Inoki, Motoshi, Raksha, Yakura, Karabi, Khan and the others froze mid-stride. There was no way. Against this terrifying, large-scale attack, they were powerless. Even using a massive defensive jutsu would be too late. All they could do was watch helplessly as Uchiha Reunion's quake powers slammed into the stunned ninjas. Splat. Splat, star. A few seconds later, a chorus of blood-curdling screams echoed across the battlefield. The stone, mist, cloud, and sand ninjas caught in the blast were obliterated by the devastating force, some were utterly vaporized, reduced to clouds of red mist against the backdrop of the shattered earth, creating a scene of unimaginable horror. P.S. Ask for tips. Collection. Flowers and reviews, sprout new. Thank you.